So today we have on the show, we have Tyson Edwards from Brightlink Electronics, a global company. He's doing a lot of great things online. Tyson, welcome to White Rock.
Thanks for having me here, Scott. It's nice to be here. And
it's nice. A beautiful day. We're about 7:30 in the morning as we record this. The birds are flying overhead, and the tide's out. It's a great day. And is this your lifestyle every day?
Well, I don't come to the beach every day, but when possible. But the freedom, yes, the freedom to kind of do whatever you want at any time. Yeah, that's pretty much my day in a nutshell.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and about Brightlink Electronics. Brightlink Electronics, I should say.
Well, I'm about 8 years into it. We started off kind of as Brightlink Cables, selling cables locally in Vancouver here. And over the last 7 years, really evolved into kind of a different business almost altogether. We still do the cables, but we're more audio video electronics for multimedia, kind of multiple TV setups, pubs, churches, casinos, and stuff like that. We do all the back end equipment that kind of get you all your displays everywhere. So what's changed since the beginning has been we used to be out of Vancouver, pretty much almost out of Canada, unfortunately, but we're our LLC's in California, so that's where our product is held, is in a fulfillment warehouse there. But we're doing a lot of drop shipping, so a lot of our main expensive products are coming straight from China directly to our customers in the US. And so that's pretty much where we're at right now. It's going really good. It's exciting, changing every day, but it's very, very fun right now. Yeah,
so you did it. You started out, you had a full-time job, and you started this slowly. It wasn't something that happened overnight, and you grew to the point where you could leave your day job.
I know it was always kind of the plan. Not sure, we had ups and downs, and sometimes I thought I was just going to shut the business down because it was a pain in the ass selling 5-foot cables, 6-foot cables to people that complained. But no, it got to the point where it wasn't the point where I was making what I was making at my job, but it was just the point where I'm either going to sit at my job for the next 20 years and kind of wish that I took the plunge or leave and take a bit of a risk. So there was stuff coming in, so it wasn't that bad, but it just from all the advice and everyone I've talked to, you just kind of almost have to do it. If it's something you think you can do and you're passionate about, just kind of go for it. So I left my job, started working on it. I think almost two and a bit years now. I've been doing it, and I haven't looked back.
So where do you see e-commerce, the world of e-commerce, going? It's only going to grow. It's increasing. Do you have the numbers of how each year how it expands from traditional shopping in your local store?
I don't have numbers. I know like 3-4 years ago the numbers were it was just so many people were going to be, I think it was like a 20% per year increase, but that was like several years ago. Where it's going, I don't necessarily know. It's become more global, right? So people used to be able to take the margins of going from China to the US, and it was just like a free-for-all, but a lot more people know about it. China's really getting big into the e-commerce market. They're trying to, Alibaba is really stepping up in India. It's just more of a global market. It's hard to get things with big markups anymore. You got to really look and really dig. But it's inevitable. It's going to be the #1 source for people shopping in the future. So
So can for the beginner who is maybe interested in starting an online business, selling a physical product, can we walk through the process of sourcing a product to selling it on the different platforms, Amazon and eBay?
Yes. Yeah. Sure. No. If obviously, one, you got to find a product. If you have something in mind, that's great. But if you don't, you can go on to, in the beginning, I used madeinchina.com. I think it's made-in-china.com. There's about 3 or 4 like kind of major ones, and Alibaba and stuff like that. Our global source, a couple of the other ones. But essentially, there's no shortage of manufacturers making products, right? So it's kind of almost overwhelming. So it's good to kind of know what product you want, or an area lease that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And so once you got that figured out, you're going to want to go into one of these sites. You're going to contact a bunch of these manufacturers. Now, most of the sites that they're on have a rating system and gold members and stuff like that. So you got a little bit of confidence there, but still, you can still got to be careful about who you select. So you just email a bunch of them. If you have a product in mind, email 5 companies. They'll all send you spreadsheets of their prices. And then if you like one, or you hear some good reviews about them, ask for samples. Some of them will not send you free samples, but they'll if you pay shipping, they'll send you the product for free, but you have to pay the shipping. And then you get it and kind of test it, or expand on it. What I like to do is, when I find a product, find out how I can make it more unique. So if you're selling product A, you got to try maybe make it into a package deal or something to make it more unique.
Yeah.
And but yeah, after that, you just got to find them, and then after that, you're going to want to find an importer and a few other things. And
do you test market a product before you?
Yeah.
That's something that can be done, right? You could even purchase a product and sell it at cost if need be, just to test the waters, so to speak.
Yeah, actually, a lot of times when I get new product in that I've already tested, I just sell at cost. But you can do minimal viable products. Just you can get a picture. There's actually a lot of good photographers in China. You could actually purchase that product. They'll send it to.
Here's the train again.
Yeah, the train again. Very familiar. You can just put an ad up there on Amazon, or eBay, and just see if you get hits, if you get questions, if you get a lot of emails and what's popular. If you get, put it below your cost, and if you can't sell it at that point, then but but yeah, you can't. There are ways to test it without actually committing. Like, I would never suggest getting a product and just going off a hunch and then ordering like 20 grand of product and bring it into the Canada or the States, and then hoping that it sells. That's just so risky. I've done that in the beginning and I lost my shirt. Yeah. So now, if possible, if it's a more of an expensive product, try to figure out a drop shipping method with the company. Even if they don't do it, most of them will negotiate, and you just try it that way. So remove the risk in the beginning.
What are the companies like to deal with? People people that aren't involved in this, I would think, would be suspicious almost. They hear stories of dealing with people overseas that aren't maybe 100%
legit.
Legit.
Even the legit ones are not legit.
Yeah. How have you found dealing with overseas companies? Are they trustworthy, or? They're
trustworthy. Most of the sales reps I deal with in China, they're very hardworking, really eager to please. It's more of the product itself too. You got to be careful, especially like I deal with electronics. There's, even the ones that you look really, up and up, they kind of, deviate the inspections and stuff like that. So you really got to be careful. Sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes, like now, I don't go on any of those sites. I ask my trusted manufacturers for references. So I'll talk to my good guys that I talk to all the time, my sales reps there, and I'll say, listen, I'm looking for someone that does this kind of product. And they're, especially in Shenzhen, there's it's huge. There's 18 million people just in that city, and 15 million of those people are working in factories. So there's no shortage of manufacturers. But anytime I reach out, he'll be like, hey, my colleague, he works or she works at this company. So for me now, it's easier for me to find them because I take that out of the risk. But another, if you're willing to take a little more of an investment, something I'm actually going to be going to in October is the China Outsourcing Fair. Okay. They have it twice a year in October and April. That's where you're going to meet the manufacturers face to face. You're going to see their product. You're going to get their price list, and you'll get a much better feel for what you're doing. Because when you're doing by email, sometimes it's you don't know.
Well, you also use Skype, and you can get a face to face. And how's the language barrier?
My main distributor, my main dropshipper, he's very, very good. But I have even my cable manufacturer, it's dicey, which you have learned to speak like a kid in grade 2. You have to really dumb it down, but some of them are really good. They all learn English, but some of the English is really bad. So when you're trying to get into something very technical, it's tough. I have actually my manufacturer for my splitters and stuff like that. He's very good at his English, so I will actually have him interpret sometimes for me when it's something really technical, and it's for another manufacturer. He has no problem, maybe sending a Skype message or something like that, right? So it is tough, but my advice would be dumb it down. Talk like you're talking to someone in grade 2.
So now you have your product and you've done some tests. I know you sell on primarily eBay and Amazon. Or do you still sell on both?
eBay, Amazon, and Magento. Magento is my platform for our site, which is brightlinkcables.com.
Okay, can you give us a quick rundown on each of those?
Sure. Well, I've been doing eBay for the longest. And so Amazon I only started about 3 years ago, but each has its own perks and disadvantages. Like, they're all roughly, when you sell a product, they take about 10-12% roughly for fees. eBay, you can really customize what your description and your ads look like. Like, I've been doing the HTML markup and all that kind of stuff for years, so I can really make my listings look pretty. Amazon's very more tight and controlled. You can only put a description, your pictures. You can't do much more to make it look. They want everything, in their control. But they all get great exposure, and half the time I actually use them as a good advertisement to get people to my own site. But their eBay is, you got to follow the rules. You got to have really great pictures, just like Amazon. You got to have great pictures, great content. Good. You have to offer 60 days, no questions returned. They really keep you to a high standard these days. 5 years ago, not so much. But now you can't have too many defects. So it's
has eBay changed? Since you started, quite dramatically.
Dramatically, they're trying to mirror Amazon's sort of, but they're trying to make it more friendly for the buyer. So for the seller, it's become more tough. Because you can't have any returns, complaints, anything like that, or you get your rankings you get all the way down. So they've changed a lot, but it is good because it's going to bring more buyers in and feel more comfortable. Now Magento is the platform I use. Now, some people don't like it because it is very complicated. A lot of people like Shopify or something like that, which is, if you're doing 1 or 2 products, Shopify is probably where you want to go. But Magento is, I have thousands of products and we need all sorts of customization. So I have a programmer for $6 an hour. And so it's not a problem for me just to have the customization, but it's great because you can pretty much do whatever you want. You have an idea of how your site wants to go. Well, within like 3-4 hours, they can do some custom code and make it happen. So that's where we try to drive all our business to, because obviously you don't have fees on your Magento site. So
that's right.
So
now do you have to fill your garage full of, if you're working from your house, full of product? Or what about fulfillment warehouses? Or Amazon, what do they call the Amazon?
It's a fulfillment warehouse
Amazon.
Too. Amazon fulfillment, AF or something like that. Anyways, I don't use it. They bug me all the time to use it, but they essentially fulfillment is, you buy product, you import it, and you put it at a fulfillment center. When they get orders, the fulfillment center will ship. Now, I still do that. I do both. I do drop shipping and fulfillment. I do ours in, probably one of the most popular ones besides Amazon is Shipwire. And they have a warehouse they have actually warehouses all over the world, which is really cool, because if you want to sell in the States and Canada and say Australia, you can put a skid of product there, US and Australia, and it's all tied into your same inventory. So it's really slick. And if you get an order from eBay, Amazon, Magento, or many other platforms, Shopify, it automatically sees that SKU's been sold, and it ships it from the nearest warehouse, ships it to the customer, uploads the tracking, and marks it as shipped. It's a pretty slick system.
Is that Magento?
No, this is Shipwire.
Shipwire.
Shipwire is the fulfillment warehouse. We just we have ours in LA, I think some in Vancouver and some in Toronto. But they're a fulfillment warehouse, but their website is the one that ties into all platforms. So it's a very, very slick system.
Okay, so now you have your product. You're on the platform, you're on eBay, you're on Amazon, you have your product in your fulfillment warehouses. Now, how do you promote and advertise your business?
Well, I obviously on eBay and Amazon, that's an advertisement in itself.
Okay.
So, when I complain about the 10 or 12% fees, sure, yeah, they're taking, you sell $1,000 or you take $120 off.
Yeah.
But you get great exposure. And actually, most of my business these days is coming from people see me on Amazon, especially for the more niche products and the more complicated ones, especially something that's over $1,000. They generally call my number.
Yeah.
And then I talk to them. I say, hey, you can get it cheaper on my website. But them alone is where I get all the business, stuff like that. Now, another way I advertise, like I have a very niche product, but I have been doing videos actually on YouTube, like how-to videos, because some of the stuff is actually very technical and complicated. Even I don't understand it all. But I do try to do a very easy to understand video on YouTube, and I've got a great response from that. I just launched a few videos. They're like 3 or 4 minute videos. And people, it's, they're searching online and how to do a matrix setup or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just get the phone call. And I launched like a couple of them 3-4 weeks ago, and I've had several phone calls. I've had about 2 big orders off of it. And the only other strategy, I used to do Google AdWords and stuff like that, but I found that there's just too much waste of money there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are just clicking to try to sell you something.
Yeah.
I have VAs that send out emails to my niche customer base, because I'm doing pretty much business to business.
Yeah.
But they send out emails and follow up emails, and I get a lot of leads from that, a lot of business, because I'm not actually advertising to the mass public. I'm more niche.
Yeah, you're finding you're niching down now, and you've found your target customer, and that changes. You have to evolve as
100%.
You have to go where you're finding success. Now, with eBay and Amazon, how do the rankings work? I know you can get buried on page 150 for certain products. Is it based on ratings and reviews kind of thing, and where you get placed?
Yeah, it's they're both kind of different, but I'll tell you, eBay off the start, they're pretty much based. Every time you add a new product, they'll give you. Well, obviously, if you're a new eBay user, it just takes time. You got to pretty much price your product low to get up there. But if you've been around for a while and you have good feedback and you put a new product out there, they'll kind of test it at the top for a bit, and if it gets good, conversion rates, you go to the top. Now, they have a whole bunch of other factors, and they're just like Google. They have these algorithms that they don't tell anyone. But if you have great pictures, if you have great return policy, if you have 1-day shipping, if you have, obviously good price, good content, and then if people see your product and they buy, if they're buying it, you're going to go to the top.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of factors, but it's just like writing a blog on Google or something like that. You have to have something very, very good.
Yeah.
They want their customers, when they're searching for product A, to find the best product A. So if you're the best product A, the best priced and all that, you'll be at the top. Likewise with Amazon, it's based on reviews and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I know you've grown your business too. It's not all about price, bringing in a product and selling it at the lowest price. Everybody can do that. Mm-hmm. You've sourced and you've worked with your suppliers to create a really high-end product, a really nice product. And your customer service, I know you've really focused on the buyer's experience, and really that's so important to growing and sustaining your business.
Yeah, well, 100%. Especially kind of what we're doing is more niche, so word of mouth is huge.
Yeah.
So something goes wrong, we don't. I've dealt with people myself, like as a buyer, and people, like, something breaks down, they go, well, our return policy, you don't have your receipt, something like that, go pound sand.
Yeah.
Us, if something goes wrong, we'll just, no questions, we take it back, we fix it. Likewise, in advice too, I'll spend a lot, especially for the big customers, I spend a lot of time on the phone helping them through issues and problems and stuff like that. So, it pays dividend. We're in a world today where a lot of people don't offer customer service. Yeah. It's just all no frills, no gimmicks. And if you can kind of stand out from the rest, you'll do well.
Yeah, because I know you rely on repeat business. Yeah. You're not selling to one person and never see them again. You're relying on building a relationship with your customers and a long-term relationship.
Yeah. I was told once the easiest customer to get is a customer you already have.
Yeah.
And that's so true. We have I don't know if you call it drip campaigns, but we have through Aweber. Aweber can tie into eBay. I haven't done it for Amazon, but eBay and Magento.
Yeah. So
we have our customers automatically get added to our email campaign, and then every month or so we kind of send out an ad.
Yeah.
Or email updates, stuff like that. But yeah, we keep on top of it. And generally, some of the good ones that we service so well, or they just like the prices and our products, they just come back. They come back knocking on your door all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you've built a team around yourself too. You touched on it briefly about VAs. For the listener out there and the viewer that doesn't know what a VA is, can you touch on that briefly?
Well, yeah, VA is a virtual assistant, and if you're not using one, even if you're a small business, or even if you're starting, I started using VAs based on the 4-hour work week, and I heard Tim Ferriss just say, just go do it, and I went and did it, and I spent way too much money, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But yeah, for people that don't know, you're hiring people, pretty much freelancers from all over the world, people that kind of work from home or work in weird remote locations. So some of the popular areas are India, China, and the Philippines.
Sure.
And you essentially hire them for all sorts of tasks. I've gone to a couple different websites. I think my first guy that I hired full time was from the Philippines, and he was I got it from, I think it was onlinejobs.ph. Now I used Odesk, which is now Upwork. They've changed their name to Upwork, but that's where I get all my contacts from. And you can get stuff relatively inexpensive. You can get, I have Filipino assistants that are working for $1 per hour, and they're just sending out basic emails, real simple stuff.
Yeah.
But I've hired my programmers from there. I have a full-time programmer. He's $6 an hour. He works from India, and I have a content person in China who kind of interprets some of the product descriptions from Chinese people, and they interpret it. And then I have a guy in Australia too. So VAs are just you got to get over that barrier that if you don't know how to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Sure you want to learn something, but it's saved me so much time. Like I will spend time. I'll make a lot of Jing videos. I don't know if you Jing screencast.
Yes.
I just do a 5-minute instruction about how to do this and that, and then you just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And it starts once you get really used to doing it and hiring them and understanding that you have to give them very, very clear instructions. VAs will make your business boom. They'll make it explode, because otherwise you're going to be spending. I used to spend hours cropping photos and touching up dust spots. And when I used to work with you probably saw me do it all the time.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
But now it's just I focus on the stuff that I know I can make highest and best use to my time.
Yeah.
And so VAs are the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Now, one thing that's really important is that to myself is books. We all consume a lot of books to educate ourselves now. It's you touched on the 4-hour work week. Was that a big influence?
Yeah. I think you're the one that handed me the book. But it's if you can find content that's relevant to your business, and it's going to save you a whole bunch of time and skip you a whole bunch of steps. Like, it's not hard to get out there and find a free audiobook or a free podcast and learn a ton. That's my eyes were open pretty big after I listened to the 4-hour work week, and then gone into listening to the podcast and Entrepreneur on Fire with John Lee Dumas. We were both down there to see him. I was part of that mastermind group, and just having this information from other people that have done it before, and it just saves you so much time. So it's good. You got to get out there. You don't want to overdo it. Some people just listen to too much content and never do anything with it, but you want to get enough to get you in the right direction.
Sure.
And then take action based on that.
Yeah. Is there an e-commerce podcast or a website that you follow that would be a good resource for my listeners?
For e-commerce, it's e-commerce Fuel. Now, I haven't listened to it in a while, but I used to listen to it pretty much every day. And last I checked, they had a couple of mastermind groups too. They have a basic one. It's like, I don't know if it's like $25 a month. As long as you're doing like over $4,500 of sales, you can get in there. But it's full of like people that they have hundreds of people in there that are all e-commerce, and you ask a question and you'll get an answer. And likewise, just listening to the podcast, they interview people that are doing drop shipping or importing and fulfillments and all that kind of stuff. So that's a pretty good source, but there's tons of them out there. It doesn't take long to search it and find it.
Yeah. Well, we'll go the route of John Lee Dumas here with a little question. And do you have an internet resource that you use that you can recommend?
Internet resource, like a tool?
Yeah, is it something that you use, like an Evernote, or that you use on a regular basis?
On a regular basis, I use RoboForm, which is a browser tie-in for all my passwords, and that's not, I guess it is for you. When you get into e-commerce, you have too many accounts in too many locations. I can't remember a password in my life depending on it because it's changed every 5 hours. Yeah. But I use that for passwords. But I was mentioning before, Jing. I use Jing Screencast. It's free for 5-minute recordings. Okay. It's great because you record your screen, you put your mic on, and you go, hey, this is Tyson, just today's task, we're looking to do this and this and this, and you upload it and you just send a link to your VA. That's a great tool. I use it all the time. And then I think Awesome Screenshots I use for it's a Google or Chrome tie-in, and it's just quick screenshots. So you take a screenshot and you can do like highlights, and then you can upload that link and then send it to someone and say, hey, this is what I want, what I like, and what I want, right?
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a final question for you. Now, my son's just graduating, my son Matthew, and would you have some advice, like Tyson Edwards right now, some advice for your 18-year-old self?
Oh God, start right away. Start failing and learning. I think I did the same thing when I was 18. I was just, trying a whole bunch of things and failing. But, eventually you get going. But if I had to go talk to myself or to your son, I would say surround yourself with people, like-minded people, so you can skip a lot of steps. I didn't have any of that. I just kind of, went and tried it, and it didn't work. I tried it again. I would have liked to gone back and right away know that there was things called masterminds or read these books and stuff like that. And just skip a lot of steps, but yeah, the advice would be just start, just go do it, find out, talk to people that have done something similar, and it's going to save you a bunch and get you really going. If you're 18 years old, if I knew what I knew now when I was 18 years old, it'd be such a different story. But yeah, just get going. Yeah, that's why that's such a powerful question. Mm-hmm. I wish I could go back. You know what? It's never too late to start. Nope. And that is for sure. Can you tell us how we can find your company, and maybe if someone wanted to reach out to you? Yeah, sure. Well, my website is brightlinkcables.com and brightlinkelectronics.com. You could reach out to me. My personal email is tyson@brightlinkcables.com. If you ever want to ask questions about e-commerce, I do like talking about it. Yeah, that's probably the best. Just my email, right? I sometimes tune out social media these days because there's too much of it. So it's very noisy. If you send me a message on Facebook, I may not check it for 3 months. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't go on Facebook. Okay, awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate being on the show. I like talking about my business, and that's it. If you're out there and you're thinking about it, just give it a shot, or join a mastermind group, or ask questions, ask me questions. It's all very possible. You just have to go out there and learn it and try it and do it. And when you fail, don't get too down. Just get back up and do it better the next time. Awesome. Thanks very much, Tyson. Okay. Appreciate being on the show. All right.